What's a tin? What's a can? Which one is British? Which one is American? Which one is used for food? Which one is used for drinks? How are the two different? What is this called? How should we pronounce this? Is it cocoa or what? What is the difference between a spoonful and a tablespoon? How is a couple of pens different from several pens? All these questions will be answered in this video. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Arash. I am an English college professor and an English university instructor here in Canada. Every year I teach hundreds of students coming from different countries, from Persia, from Saudi Arabia, from India, from South Korea, Japan, Brazil, Spain, and many other countries, how to speak English fluently, how to improve their listening, reading, and writing skills. And guess what? English is not my first language. Wow. English is my second language, like many of you. So if I could learn English and speak like this now, so can you. The only thing you have to do is to follow my videos and listen to my tips. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button now and let's get started. So in this video, I'm going to teach you all the words in Unit 24 of the book Oxford Word Skills. So the topic here is containers and quantities. The first one here is a tin, T-I-N, a tin of crab. What is crab? It's a sea animal. A crab is a sea animal. So what's a tin of crab? A tin is a container and you can see it in the picture. Now this is a British word. We use it for food, so it's a container for food in British English. For drinks, we use a can. In British English, we use a can for drinks. For example, here we have a can of fizzy drink. Now, what's a fizzy drink? Let me read the definition for you. So fizzy drink is a drink containing many small bubbles. What's bubbles? Balls of air or gas. A fizzy drink is a non-alcoholic, no alcohol, non-alcoholic sweet drink with bubbles in it. That's a fizzy drink. But again, fizzy drink is also a British word. It's not American. In American English, we use soda or pop or soda pop instead of a fizzy drink. So in American English, we have soda or pop. So in American English, we can say a can of soda or a can of pop. For example, Coca-Cola is a kind of pop. Now you remember I said tin is a British word and it's used for foods. What about an equivalent for tin in American English? It's interesting because in American English, we use can both for food and drinks. So in American English, I can say a can of soda, a can of pop, or I can say a can of crab, a can of tuna, or a can of beans. So one more time. In British English, we use a tin for food and we use can for drinks. In American English, we use can for both. The next type of container is a packet of peanuts. A packet of peanuts. But again, a packet of peanuts is used in British English. I know it's tricky. So in British English, we say a packet of peanuts, but a packet has a different meaning in American English. First, let me tell you that in American English, we say a bag of peanuts instead of a packet of peanuts. Also, in American English, we use a packet to mean something like this. This is a packet. And I can read the definition, which I borrowed from the online Lineman Dictionary. So what's a packet in American English? It's a small flat paper or plastic container that a liquid or powder is sold in. So we can say packets of ketchup or packets of mustard. However, in British English, we use the word sachet to mean that in American English. So sachet is used in British English to mean this. So we say a sachet of ketchup or a sachet of mustard. Here, the T is not pronounced and we say sachet, sachet, sachet. I know, it's very tricky, but you just need to know which part of the world you're going to live in and which one is more common. Is British English more common or American English is common? You can use whichever one is more common. All right, how do you pronounce this word? Did you just say cocoa? No, we pronounce it like cocoa. So this is cocoa. And here we have a packet of cocoa powder. A packet of cocoa powder. Cocoa powder. Let's read the definition for cocoa. A dark brown powder made from cocoa beans and used for making chocolate. A packet of cocoa powder. Next one is a jar. A jar of honey. So this container is a jar of honey. Or a jam jar. Next one is carton. Carton. There's no sound between T and N. Carton. And in American English, the T is pronounced like D, right? The flap D. Carton. Carton. A carton of juice. A carton of juice. In British English, a carton. A carton of juice. Or a carton of milk. A carton of milk. A carton of juice. A carton of milk. Next is a vase of flowers, a vase of flowers, a vase of flowers. And don't forget, OF here is pronounced of, or just a vase of flowers, a vase of flowers. Next one is a basket of fruit, a basket of fruit, a basket of fruit. Now this one is a shopping basket. A shopping basket. Have you ever used a shopping basket? And the last one here is a tube. In American English, we say tube. In British English, we say tube. So British English, tube. American English, tube. A tube of glue. A tube of glue. So any container like this is a tube. A tube of toothpaste. A tube of sunscreen. A tube of sunscreen. And that was part A. Now let's move on to part B, which is about quantities. Quantities. All right, what's the definition for quantity? Quantity. How much of something that there is. A synonym for quantity is amount. How much of something? Amount. That is quantity. In the first picture, we have a slice of bread. Slice, a slice of bread. That is a slice of bread. In the next picture, we have a loaf of bread. Keep in mind, bread is uncountable. I can't say a bread. That is wrong. I cannot say a bread, but I can say a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread. Now, what is a loaf? I'm going to read the definition from Longman Dictionary. Bread that is shaped in one piece and can be cut into slices. So, a loaf of bread can be cut into slices. In the next picture, you can see a roll. A roll. I'm going to read the definition from Longman Dictionary. A small round loaf of bread for one person. So, small round loaf of bread for one person only. That is a roll. Now, can you see the differences? A slice, a loaf, and finally, a roll. In the next picture, you can see a spoonful of sugar. Spoonful. Spoonful. What is a spoonful? The amount that a spoon will hold. That is a spoonful. For example, a spoonful of sugar. 2 spoonfuls of sugar. Now, how is a spoonful different from a tablespoon? Tablespoon is a specific measurement which is used in cooking, but spoonful is a more general term and you don't know exactly how much. So we can say that tablespoon is more exact. Now, what is smaller than a tablespoon? A teaspoon. A teaspoon. For example, a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt. All right, in the next picture, you can see 2 sheets of paper. Sheet. 2 sheets of paper. 1 sheet of paper. 2 sheets of paper. In the next picture, you can see a couple of pens. A couple of pens. A couple of pens. So what is a couple of? 2 things or people of the same kind. 2 things or people of the same kind too. For example, a couple of pens. In the next picture, you have several biscuits. Several biscuits. Now, biscuit is a British word, but the American one is cookie. So in British English, we say biscuit. Biscuit, biscuit. In American English, we say cookie. So what is several? More than 2, but not many. So it's more than 2, but not many. Several biscuits, several pens, a couple of pens, several pens. And finally, in the last picture, we have a small quantity of oil. A small quantity of oil, or a small amount of oil. And finally, there are some sentences here that we are going to read together. The first sentence, I measured the material. I needed approximately 2 meters, and it was more or less the right length. So what is measure? Measure means you try to see how big something is. That is measuring something. Is it 1 meter or it's 2 meters? How long is it, for example? Here it says, I measured the material. The next word here is approximately. 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 What is approximately? It means not exactly. Or a synonym for it could be about. Another synonym for approximately is more or less. More or less, approximately, about, or not exactly. I needed approximately 2 meters, about 2 meters. And it was more or less the right length. So G here is not pronounced. We say length, length. What does it mean? Length means how long something is. That is length. More or less the right length. More or less, we said, means approximately, about. So about the right length. Next, I weighed the rice. I needed the exact amount. It weighed 404 grams or 404 grams. So here you can see that weigh is a verb. I weighed the rice. It means I wanted to see what the weight is. I needed the exact amount. So exact means correct, accurate, and the adverb is exactly. Finally, there is a spotlight which I want to read. It says measure and weigh can be used transitively, which means with an object, or intransitively, which means without an object. And here we have examples. She measured the bed. Here we have an object, the bed. So it's fine. Which means she used a ruler to find out the size of the bed. The next example, it measured 2 meters by 1 meter. So here we do not have an object. We just have a number, right? 2 meters by 1 meter. Which means the size of the bed was this. The next example is about weigh. I weighed the baby. Here we have an object. The baby is an object. I measured the baby to see how heavy it was. The next example, the baby weighed 8 kilograms. So the baby's weight was 8 kilograms. Here we don't have an object. All right, everybody, that was it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button right now, and I see you very soon.